I should meet the hairdresser though. I've never met him.
These two questions come from Tony. First, do you speak Cantonese? And second, how to stimulate boys to read books? But why just boys, not girls?
I have boys.
All right.
So that's why maybe.
Do they read things like Twilight?
No, they're still too young for Twilight. They read Harry Potter. It is a bit natural. I have twin boys and they're fraternal. One of them reads a lot more than the other one. But we do it by making sure they don't have anything else to do. It's as simple as that. You can read. They're like, I'm bored, what do I do? Read it. And then we also do this, that we don't judge them on the kind of books they want to read. If they're fine, if they like reading comics, it's okay. Start with comics, then move them to a book, so that they get into the reading habit. So we match their taste, and then we make sure they're not distracted by other things, and then do it. And of course they see us read, and they know that I write, so it's obviously a little bit easier that way. But it's a challenge, because they would rather play a video game. Yeah.
So how do you train a kid in open-minded thinking under a conservative culture?
It's not easy. Like I said, you make them read a lot. You make them interact with a lot of people. You make sure they see people of different classes, especially people beneath you in money. They must have friends, or you must, for example, we have helpers, like you have helpers here, and we have made sure that they are never rude to them. And in summer vacation, my helper gets her kids from her home to live with our kids for 10-15 days, and they play with them, and then they are neutral to class, they are neutral to wealth, and that way I think it becomes a little more open-minded. And in India, I think they see, it's a poor country, so they see the reality. In Hong Kong, I feel often you don't realize that how rich Hong Kong is. The world is not like this. It's not.
Have you come across any writer's block?
Yes, all the time. We have. And it's called laziness. And I do other things, and I don't fight it. That's why I do motivation talks. That's why I do columns, attend book fairs, to make sure I don't feel pressured to write. I'm at a stage now, even if I don't write, it's okay.
In the film,
what's the time thing, Chip? Sorry, just checking. Are we okay on time? Yeah, we are. I don't know. Is there somebody who is a signal? Yes.
In the film, people take off their pants to show respect. So have you ever done this to you?
Yes, I have.
Anyone else? In school or college?
It used to be there. Now they don't allow it. But it used to be this hazing or ragging, it's called. It used to be there, but now less.
Now you mentioned Indian or Chinese education systems seem not to produce any or many innovative talents, but Americans seem to produce a lot of that kind, especially in enterprising. But of one successful inventor, there must be millions of average American workers,
yes,
regardless of jobs behind the desk.
Yeah, I get the point. I mean, not every American is a creative person. There are some very stupid Americans too. I mean, I'm not implying that. I'm not saying that they're all better and we are all not innovative. But I'm saying on an average, you see the inventions, the innovative startups that come. Somehow they tend to have a little more. But I think it is due to the fact that those who are talented there, those who have an aptitude, they choose that direction and they get there. And yes, a lot of people don't have, and they do pretty average jobs too. But as a society, they have more output of creativity because of that. That's all.
Now, do you foresee any educational system reform in India or Asia in the next 20 years? to make Asia more competitive?
I think they will have to do it. I think
Has any education officials in India talked to you after the Three Idiots?
They have, whether they have tried to do things, and they have tried to make the entrance exam for the IITs, which the Indian Institute of Technology, they've tried to make the exams simpler. They've tried to open more IITs, more seats. Not enough, but they've done some gestures. I mean, they are trying to do it, but it also is a matter of resources, which India doesn't have too much.
Now, as a former Hong Kong Indian resident, what are your views on Hong Kong Chinese, towards Hong Kong Chinese?
I like them.
Say something nice.
I like them. I think they're very...
Can you stand the Indian food in Hong Kong? Do you think it's authentic?
Yeah, I think Indian food is good, and I like the Cantonese food also very much. I love Crystal Jade, Xiaolong Bao. I have to go there.
Xiaolong Bao.
And I think I like the entrepreneurial, the business sense of Hong Kong people much more. I've also went to Singapore for a while, but doesn't compare. I think Hong Kong any day over Singapore. And I think the ladies dress very well here. I mean, that's not something people talk about much. But the fact is that Hong Kong girls are amongst the best dressed, on an average, in the world, I think.
Have you been to Canton Road in TSD and see how the Chinese tourists are even better dressed, more expensively dressed?
Making me say things about
like
mainland
Christmas
China.
Tree, like a Christmas tree decorated with Chanel and LV or Hermes as they pronounce it.
Chip, you're making me say things about mainland China. I have to go back home tomorrow.
We have freedom of speech here.
Yeah. No, I think the style and the whole, I think it's very, very elegant.
Now, we are running out of time. We have, unfortunately, many questions unanswered. But may I wrap up with one very broad question from one of the audience? How do we think creatively?
How do we think creatively? Okay. So I'm going to keep it brief because we are running out of time, because this is almost a full workshop. But very briefly, okay, read books. Read a lot of stories, okay? It will automatically trigger your imagination. Second, don't be too busy. I'm being frank with you. In Google, the company, they had 20% of time given as downtime to employees to just think, just come up with ideas. If you never have time to think, you will not be creative. 3, keep the phone away and internet away for a while.
Switch off your mobile phone.
Yeah, for some time.
Plays less mahjong or sing less karaoke.
Yeah, so just give yourself me time, go for a walk, be quiet time, and it is there in you. Creativity is there in you. It's like a muscle, but it's not getting used in your daily life. And if you don't use it, you lose it. So if you want to do it, start reading books. It will fire up your imagination. Keep time to think. Don't be too busy. And be happy, Happy people are more creative. Unhappy people are not creative.
Okay, wow. Thank you very much, Chetan. An enjoyable evening. It's a nice conversation with you.
Thank you very much.
The last time,
Thank you so much.
The last time we had an Indian writer to come to China and has such inspirational conversation was the poet Tagore, and he came to Peking and Shanghai during the 1930s.
Okay.
Since then,
you were around then, obviously.
we haven't had an Indian writer
really?
to talk to, really.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for making me that guy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chetan, and thank you, Chip, for the inspiring and enjoyable session. And for now, as an appreciation of your participation, let us welcome Ms. Mandy Ng, our Marketing Manager of Hong Kong Trade Development Council, to present souvenir and trophy to both speakers. Thank you. And for ladies and gentlemen, the exit is to your right, but for those who would like to get your books signed by Mr. Chetan Bhagat, please queue up on this side and you will go on stage.